Hello! Happy October 1st. Happy spooky season. I am so excited to be in October. At least it's October when this is going up. It's not October currently, but it will be when you're seeing this. Maybe, unless you're really late to an October TBR, in which case, hello from the past. But happy October. I am doing a wild thing with my October. I might have mentioned it somewhere or other, and I have definitely mentioned it to my patrons because I am doing it with them. But this month I am tackling 31 books in 31 days. Spooky edition. Every April I do 30 books in 30 days, or at least I have for the last couple of years, and I do it with Steph loves, and it's become a bit of a thing. And now in October, myself and Steph are both tackling 31 books in 31 days with our patrons as well. Or if people don't want to do 31 books in 31 days, maybe they'll do 13 books in 31 days, or 100 pages a day for 31 days, or however they can incorporate the challenge element into their October so that they're still part of the fun, the challenge, the community. But both Steph and I are tackling 31 books in 31 days. That does mean I have a pretty enormous TBR to take you through, and it is not 31 books long. I do want to give myself some room for extra reads, things that might get recommended to me throughout the month, things that I might see other people reading. So I haven't got 31 books to take you through, but I do still have a fair few. I will pre-warn you that I do not know the synopses for most of these. So that could be fun for us. But I'm going to take you through all of the books. They're all stacked around in front of you. I'm going to take you through all of the books that I am thinking about reading in the month of October for this challenge. That does mean that there's a few little spooky books on here. Although the challenge is 31 books in 31 days, spooky edition, the books do not have to be spooky. I'm just taking on the challenge as seasonally appropriate. So maybe just a bit dark, maybe witchy, maybe murdery, maybe, I don't know, however you want to think about seasonally appropriate. Regardless, I am babbling on about this and you're here for the books. So let's go through some of the things I might be reading. I'm going to kick us off with Strange Houses by Uketsu. I read Strange Pictures by Uketsu last spooky season and it was fantastic. Very much a mystery, a puzzle. Strange Pictures did involve some deaths and disturbing pictures being drawn by different people, and each of those pictures coming together to unravel the mystery. This one is about a floor plan. A sinister hidden room, a dead space between two walls, a sealed cellar, a child's face glimpsed at a window. Every house hides secrets, but some secrets are far darker than others. You now know as much as I do. I enjoyed Strange Pictures. I'm hoping that I will therefore also enjoy Strange Houses. Next up, I have got What Stalks the Deep by T. Kingfisher. This is the third book in the Sworn Soldier series. The first one being What Moves the Dead, and then What Feasts at Night, and then our third one, What Stalks the Deep. I didn't even know that this was a thing until the other day and had to immediately get my hands on it. I didn't even know it was coming out. But this is about Alex Easton, who is a soldier. In each of the books, they've visited a location where something sinister is happening, something slightly otherworldly, something speculative. And in this one, they are visiting an abandoned coal mine in West Virginia with a reputation for being haunted. So we're going to find out what stalks in the deep of the coal mines. I then have The Library at Hellbore by Cassandra Core. I know that this came in an Evernight box, I think. I've seen a few people with it from the box. So it's a fairly recent and maybe anticipated release if it was picked up for a box. I have read one thing from Cassandra Core before, and that is The Salt Grows Heavy, and I liked it. It is on that basis that I picked this up. If I have found an author that writes kind of spooky things that I like, I will probably read from them again, because I used to always say I wasn't into horror, but then this TBR will maybe tell us differently. I don't know. I know not much more about this other than I've liked Cassandra Clare's writing before. This one takes place at a school. This school will eat you alive. And I tell you a lie because Gavin recently read this and did share some disturbing facts about what's in here. Very gruesome. The Hellbore Technical Institute for Gifted is the premier academy for the dangerously powerful, the Antichrists, the Ragnaroks, the World Eaters, and the Apocalypse Makers. Ooh, I just became so much more excited. Oh my god, Alessa is kidnapped and forcibly enrolled? But there's more to Hellbore than meets the eye. Oh, the faculty go on a ravenous rampage. Ooh, they're trapped in the library, bartering for their survival, one sacrifice at a time. I'm now way more excited about this. I should have read the blurb beforehand. On the topic of Cassandra Clare, it makes sense to then also mention Nothing But Blackened Teeth, also by Cassandra Clare. I have heard very mixed things about this one. Some people have loved it, some people have really, really not. I did ask Steph whether she recommended this one before I picked it up. She said yes, she enjoyed this one. But I've definitely heard of others who did not, so we will see where I land on this one. It's an absolutely teeny tiny one, so will definitely help for the 31 books in 31 days. But again, I've enjoyed Cassandra Clare's writing before. We will see if that remains true for this. Next up I have one that is actually a fantasy, but it gives me spooky vibes, so it's on the TBR. And that is The Butcher of the Forest by Premi Muhammad. This has the Grimm brothers can't hold a candle to Premi Muhammad and her fever dream of a fantasy novella. Why is this a fever dream? Let's find out. So this one takes place in a forest, and this forest is full of monsters and otherworldly creatures, or so the stories go. For when the children of the village venture into the forest, they do not come back. That is, except for our main character, Varys. Varys is summoned to rescue the children from the forest, so she has only one day before the creatures of the forest claim the children as their own forever. To stand a chance at survival in the forest, Varys must trap and trick monsters, ancient magics, and false friends, and time is running out. I am very intrigued. One misstep will cost everything. Fast-paced, tense, fantastical, and uncanny, a perfect mix of horror and fantasy. I am very intrigued by this one. Next up, I have one that's been on my TBR since last spooky season, and I didn't quite get to it, and that is My Throat an Open Grave by Tori Bovolino. This one, I think, also takes place in a village on the outskirts of a forest where children vanish. Yes, they do. Small town of Winston, Pennsylvania, they fear the Lord of the Wood almost as much as they fear God. According to legend, ghosts of the nearby forest steal unattended babies, leaving enigmatic tokens of wood and bone in their place. And then our main character has to go into the woods. I believe her brother is taken. Leah crosses the river to bring her brother back, yes, but the devilish figure who has haunted Winston for generations isn't what she expects. He tells her she can have her brother back for a price. So again, there's probably going to be trickery and weird monsters in the woods. Sounds atmospheric, sounds good. I've heard people say this one isn't quite horror. Again, maybe more of that like fantasy horror mix, but it is marked as horror, so just saying. Next up, I have got A Blood as Bright as the Moon by Andrea Morstablini. This one is about vampires and a group of vampires who live on Earth under the spell of their leader, who spins stories about how they shall create enormous wings and fly to the moon, and the moon will be a safe haven for all vampires. But our main character in this one, Ambrose, has a secret, and that is that he is not ready to leave Earth and does not want to. He doesn't want to abandon them, and in fact is in contact with a human who believes that he can be saved. Something else is on the horizon. The Royal Society, a group with sinister plans for vampires, are closing in, and if Ambrose isn't careful, he could find himself at the centre of a terrifying and mysterious experiment. Ooh! This one is marked as fiction horror, so again, maybe a little bit of a genre blending thing there, but sounds very intriguing, and after reading Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, I fancied more vampires. Next up, I have got Hampton Heights by Dan Coy. This one I picked up from Waterstones the other day, completely on a whim. I had never heard of this before, but this takes place in a mysterious neighborhood and is a comedy horror, and I believe there's a Burger King, and I'm thinking potentially werewolves. A cold winter's evening in 1987, 6 middle school paper boys wander on an unfamiliar neighborhood, selling newspaper subscriptions fueled by their stupid manager Kevin's promise of cash bonuses and dinner at Burger King. But the freaks come out at night in Hampton Heights. Funny, thrilling, outrageous, and sneakily beautiful, Hampton Heights captures, without sentimentality, the dreams and fears of teenage boys in a tender horror comedy about bravery, vulnerability, and the terrifying prospect of growing up. And then that cover really just spoke to me. These, like, terrible drawings of these monsters, and then the Burger King. I'm into it. I'm curious. I hope it's good. Next up, I have got Guillotine by Delilah S. Dawson. Now, last spooky season, I read Bloom by Delilah Dawson, and it surprised me by how much I actually ended up enjoying that. It was kind of uncomfortable and unsettling, but I couldn't, like, fully figure out why, but you kind of know what's coming, but for the most part, it's just this uncomfortable, unsettling feeling, and then at the end, it's like bam, 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 everything, and here's all the gore and gruesomeness. I enjoyed that. And when I read that, I was told by a fair few people that Guillotine is better. So here I am, I'm going to read Guillotine. This one takes place on an island of a very wealthy family. Our main character is a thrift fashionista, Des, and I'm assuming Des meets someone and is invited to the island mansion, and Des is floored by the grandeur of it. She's never witnessed how people this wealthy live before. But this family, the Ruskins, take her to this island, and then the ferry departs, and she's stuck on this island, and things take a mysterious, dark turn. Because it turns out the Ruskins' staff are pretty much indentured servants and have figured that the only way to get themselves out of their servitude and off this island is to get rid of the Ruskins once and for all. Again, it's a little one, but Bloom was also a very little one, and that packed a punch, so I assume this will as well. I'm very excited to read more from Delilah Dawson. Now I have one that is a little bit more out of my comfort zone, perhaps, and that is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. This is another one that Steph recommended. Steph very much enjoyed this one. I am not sure what I'm going to make of this because eyeballs do make me feel a little bit queasy. Our main character in this one, Ji-won, grows obsessed with this guy's brilliant blue eyeballs. Her mother's new boyfriend is bragging about his knowledge of Korean culture, so we've also got some cultural things going on in here. Her father had an affair and ripped the family to shreds. Her mum's new white boyfriend, and as seen bragging about his knowledge of Korean culture, Ji-won finds herself obsessed with his brilliant blue eyeballs and resolves to do the one thing that will save her family and curb her cravings. I can't wait to find out what that is. I've heard fantastic things about this book though, so I'm excited to give it a go. Next up, I have a little bit of a ghost story in The Ghosts of Merry Hall. This one shouted at me mainly because of that cover. Those candlesticks look really cool. But this one is about a location, and I love it when the location is the spooky bit. Like the setting is what is like eerie and atmospheric and a bit unsettling and bizarre. And Merry Hall is haunted, and Dolly is just one of the ghosts haunting Merry Hall, trying to reach out to right the wrongs of the past. I think we could potentially have like different timelines going on in this. We have modern day when Nell moves into Merry Hall with her teenage daughter. and she's determined to find life in this gloomy Victorian manor. But there are creepy noises, there are weird smells, and everything that will make you think the place is haunted. And then on the flip side, we have, in the 1840s, a showman seduces Dolly, a talented albino girl, and makes her the star of his performing collection of freaks. She becomes pregnant with his child, he discards and imprisons her at Merry Hall. And now Dolly haunts Merry Hall. Ghosty. I think this one might freak me out. Ghosty things kind of do, even though I'm completely a non-believer. But this sounds like it could be a chilling atmosphere, and I'm looking forward to it. Next up, I have a murder mystery in Murder at the Black Cat Cafe. I have seen this one everywhere lately, and I think it's probably because it was a Waterstones book of the month, so it was just plastered everywhere in my email inbox and everywhere in every Waterstones I ever went to. But this is a classic Japanese mystery from a best-selling Japanese murder mystery writer, Seishi Yokomoto. The Black Cat Cafe is in fact not a cafe, but a notorious brothel, and the body of a woman is found disfigured beyond recognition, and the corpse of a black cat. Ooh. Who is the murdered woman? How was she connected to the infamous establishment? And where did the dead cat come from? A mystery is to be solved, and we have a sleuth who tries to crack the case, even though it brings him into danger himself. Bit of a different vibe. I don't think I've read many murder mysteries, so we will see how this one goes, but I'm intrigued. It's seasonally appropriate. Looking forward to it. Next up, I have one that was actually gifted to me by Claire, so thank you very much, Claire, for this one, and that is All the Devils by Caitlin Wilson. This one's more of a dark academia, and academia isn't usually my go-to, but Andy Emerson's sister Violet is supposed to be dead. Only the body in the casket isn't her sister, so where is Violet? Tell me you're not hooked. So, Andy enrolls at Ravenswood Academy, an elite boarding school, and instead of finding the truth, which is what she's searching for, she instead finds secret societies, ancient magic, and demons. A set of clues bring her in contact with a charming senior who has his own reasons for wanting to find Violet. Ooh, what was she tied up in? As they work together to unravel the mystery, Andy realizes the price she might have to pay to bring her sister home is darker than she ever could have imagined. Was she taken by a demon? I can't wait to find out. Deliciously dark and atmospheric. Tore through this gothic fairy tale is one of the reviews on the back there. Sounds like a dream. Sign me up. I'm very excited. And then next on my list is one that was gifted to me by Sophie. So thank you very much, Sophie, for this one. And we have The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. I recently read The House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland and enjoyed it a whole lot more than I thought I was going to. So thumbs up for that. And therefore thought I could give another Crystal Sutherland a go. I've heard mixed things about this one. Then again, I think I had also heard mixed things about House of Hollow and I enjoyed that one enough. So that's a win. This is about three girls who are haunted? No, one of them's haunted. Emma is haunted, hunted, and increasingly terrified. Ooh. As all of her clients, desperate women willing to sell a piece of their soul for a scrap of magical power, are being killed off one by one. Jude is rich as sin and handsome as the devil, but she's also cursed. Her immortal soul is tethered to a demon, and her body is decaying. Ooh. Zara's sister has been murdered, but Zara has no time to grieve. She's set on revenge and bringing her sister back from the dead. The three lives are now unavoidably entwined. Three damaged young women, one cursed, one hunted, one out for revenge, must track down and eliminate a brutal supernatural killer before they too become victims. Dramatic! Sounds good. I don't know if this one is also YA. In fact, it's published by Hotkey, so it must also be YA. I don't reach for YA an awful lot anymore, but House of Hollow was YA, and I enjoyed that. So, fingers crossed, I enjoyed The Invocations as well. Thrilling, irresistible, and unforgettable. Ooh. Next up, I have a spooky middle grade. Now, I don't reach for middle grade often anymore, but we have got serial chillers. The Witch in the Woods by Jennifer Killick. Now, I have only picked this up on the basis that it's Jennifer Killick. Jennifer Killick wrote the Dreadwood series, which I did a whole series reading vlog for last year. I will link that somewhere. I enjoyed that series, and I have learnt that spooky middle grade, like middle grade horror, does tend to be the genre of middle grade that I still enjoy. So, I'm gonna give it a go with Serial Chillers, a town of sinister secrets, devilish disappearances, and murderous mysteries. Travis, Zaid, Celine, and Danielle carry out their school project on the local urban legend of Blood-Eyed Mary. They're just looking for a good grade. But then they head straight into the heart of Mary's lair. Ooh, into the woods. And what they find there will change everything, because nothing is what it seems in Hazard. Hazard is the name of the town. And the secrets uncovered that night are the start of something huge. Something that will change the world. But first, the 4 teenagers have to make it out of the woods alive. I'm excited. I like Jennifer Killick from what I've read from her before, so looking forward to it. And then I also have another middle grade horror in The House Trap. This one has been very strongly recommended to me by Emma, and as I have learnt recently, I need to listen to Emma whenever she recommends me anything, because I end up really enjoying it. So for that reason, I will be reading The House Trap. This was also actually gifted to me by Emma, so thank you very much, Emma. Amity has run off into the Badwell woods. Her brother Claude goes after her, only to discover his little sister's scarf dangling near a house in the trees. Has she gone inside? He enters, not expecting a 3-story building with no stairs, and a party laid out when there's nobody else around. Only when the front door locks behind him does he realise it's a house trap. And they've been caught. We'll see how that one goes. Then I have a few more spooky books on my Kindle that I might get to. We will see. We'll see if I get there. We've had 16 physical reads, so this is what I've got left on my Kindle. Come Closer by Sarah Gran. I meant to get to this one last year and I didn't. I think this is about a woman that hears a noise and like the noise gets closer. I don't know. I've heard fantastic things about it though, so maybe I'll get to that one. I then have Predatory Natures by Amy Goldsmith. This one sounds like some sort of botanical, creepy read on a train. This one follows a girl called Lara, who's got a summer job aboard a luxury train, but her plans to run away from her past aboard this train come to a halt when a couple of carriages of mysterious plants are hitched onto the train, and with them comes a pair of siblings, wealthy, mysterious, and charismatic. And soon Lara will learn that you can't outrun your troubles. You have to grab them by their roots. Botanical, creepy, what's with the plants? What's with the siblings? What's Laura running from? Then on here I also have Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drew. This one is about a boy at a boarding school. And I believe that there's another boy that he is a little bit besotted with. So Andrew writes twisted fairy tales for Thomas. But Thomas's parents have vanished and he has blood on his sleeve. Stranger still, Thomas won't talk to Andrew, even though he's always loved sketching the monstrous creatures from Andrew's stories. Desperate to uncover the truth, Andrew follows Thomas into the forest and catches him fighting a nightmarish monster. His drawings have come to life. Interesting. To ensure no one else dies, the boys must battle the creatures every night. But as their obsession with each other grows stronger, so do the monsters. Intriguing. I think this one again is a YA, so hopefully I still enjoy. But yeah, I've heard good things about that one, so I should do. And then I also have House of Monstrous Woman on here by Daphne Farmer. This one is a gothic horror and it's compared to the likes of Mexican Gothic, which I did very much enjoy. So I like that comparison. And it's set in the Philippines as well. Josephine is left destitute after her parents were assassinated, destined to marry a man twice her age. When Jadeyraereads, an old friend, offers Josephine an escape, she can't say no. All she needs to do is spend one night in the Ranico's home and play a children's game of hide and seek. If she wins, she can have anything she wants, even perhaps Jadeyraeads' heart. Ooh. But the manor is sprawling and nightmarish, crawling with insects and rotting from the inside out. The servants stand silently in corners and won't meet her eye. Worst of all, the house itself seems to want to trap Josephine. She must stay hidden until morning, but can she make it through the night? Oh my god, that sounds so good. I knew there was a reason I bought that. I also nearly actually bought the physical copy of this one the other day. Then I remembered I had it on my Kindle because it was in a 99p deal, so beautiful. I'm excited about that one. I don't know how many books we're at now, but I then also have a bunch of fall romances, just for, you know, quick reads. With the 31 and 31, I feel like I might need a speedy romance or two to get me through, so I collected a few. I'm not actually going to tell you what any of these are about. You'll get the vibes from the covers. So, we've got Love and Lattes at Pumpkin Hollow. There's pumpkin about you. You had me at the pumpkin patch. If it makes you happy, my big fat vampire wedding, and haunt your heart out. So there we go. Maybe I'll do reading all of the fall season romances vlog all in one go. I lost count of how many books I was talking about there, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't quite 31. Which does mean I have some room for additional reads, mood reads. Maybe if I get tired of the super spooky, maybe I could go on to something a little bit more like seasonally appropriate but cuter and witchy. Haven't got any manga on this TBR, and I might need some with 31 and 31, but we'll see how that goes. I'm a little bit overwhelmed, but so very excited. So there you go. There is my Monstrous TBR for October. MBR. They might get read. And it's now dark outside because I've been filming this for far too long. But thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. If you've got any opinions on any of the books that I've mentioned here today, please do let me know what they are down below. Let me know what you've thought, or if you've got any other recommendations that you think would be the perfect addition to my TBR, let me know about them down below as well. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you had fun, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye!